of guy. You're the same, like Barry. You are literally the same as me. So if I think something's sick, you will literally think it's sick as well. 100%. I can see you in that beret now, bruv. Standing proud, mate. Seeing your family in that. Ah, the pride, mate. Going from fighting. Yeah. Going from something to something. Something to something. I can see you arguing with him, nah. But then you just doing bare press ups. Oh, bruv, you'd be outside on parade all day, mate, in the rain. But you'll learn to not do it again, isn't it? And it's just how it is. It's how it is. In the rain, mate. Bare cold, mate. And if they really hate you, they'll make you get dressed into your PT kit, so you'll be out there in shorts, mate. You think it's bad just running around in shorts? Well, imagine standing still, mate, when it's fucking like -1, -2. Oh, it's fucked. It's really horrible. And it's on their time as well, so like, they decide the time, they'll make you fucking wait there for time. Yeah, they give you a time, and then they won't even turn up on time. They're just long you out. Take the piss. But they can do that, and that's how chain of command works, isn't it? There's a saying we have, it's called hurry up and wait, mate. Basically means be on time and wait there. You live for it, mate. I know you come back to Southend a different person. I did. I fucking did. I thought I was the man. I used to run big territories, enforce them territories as well. I thought I was hard, mate, and then I went to the army, mate. Oh shit! Only just another fish in the pond, mate. Yeah, and if you do like fighting, there's bare scrap. There's bare scrapping in the army as well. It's fucking shit, innit? There's people thinking they're fucking hard. There's just a lot of disagreements as well because there's a lot of high tension. A lot of the things you do is real like high because when you fail, Bao, it's not like in civvy life. When you fail, it's like, oh, you can have a go. It's not that bad. When you fail in the army, people die, so you can't really get things wrong. And when there's that sort of pressure, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Very high intensity. I think you enjoy it. I think you like challenges. You like to learn. And there's different courses you can do as well. Like, obviously, when you go through your promotion courses, there's like sergeant course, leadership courses, adventure training courses, all that shit. You love it. There's always something new you can sign up for. Mate, you can even be a fucking diver and get paid bare. You get extra pay. You go diving. You can do a commando course. You go down to Livingston. Oh my goodness. It's disgusting. It's called the All Arms course. You become a commando. What do you know about that, Barry? You want to be a commando in the army, dude? Oh, rude boy. I could do it, but I just don't like water. So it's probably best. Do what you don't want to do. That's how it goes. Huh? Commandos, yeah. If I could, I would go for a commando. I'll be a Royal Marine, but I'm too big, Bal. I'm literally too big. I'm way too much, and I can run, but not to the fucking Royal Marine standards. You must be crazy. You must be crazy, you my. Like I can do rope climbs, right? But I can do it once, 2 times if I'm pushing myself. These naughty people will do it 10 times and say, yeah, I'm ready to go again. You know what I mean? Just out of hand. Absolutely out of hand. Yeah, but you also need to be at a certain fitness ready for that training. I think steps, like, could transfer. It's not like the parachute regiments where it's like their custom is like. Do you know what Joes are? So Joes is when you first join the parachute regiment. It's join on enlistment rather than doing P company course, where you can get your maroon beret by doing the course, but it's not the same as a Joe by joining on enlistment. Bruv, they used to have fat fights at the canteen, like at the scoff house. because you'd have the soldiers, yeah, who were the Joes, so the original OGs, and you'd have the P companies, right? You did the course. They were getting the fat scraps, mate, because they didn't like each other. Fat scraps. It's just traditional thing, innit? Tradition. That's it. Join on enlistment. Yeah, it's like when you go P company. Basically, the army will get you fit, right? So you can do P company and get your wings. Basically, you be a power, but you're not a Joe, so you're not actually like really part of the brotherhood sort of thing. Basically, you're a mug. They're just mugging you off, like Joes, the real powers. Cunts. Just shit like that. They're infighting. Yeah, Paris is naughty. Like, I don't know. I couldn't fucking. I don't know how I feel about jumping out of a plane. I'm a soldier. I like my boots on the ground. Yeah, they are. They're naughty. Yeah. I don't want to jump out of a helicopter. I don't think that doesn't interest me. I've done heights courses before, so like I've done like 35-foot jumps and stuff, but I don't want to jump out of a plane like with a parachute, because military parachutes, right? They're not civilian parachutes. So civilian parachutes is designed for a nice glide, a nice landing. Military parachutes, they're designed to get the troop to the ground the fastest. So it's just a sudden drop, right? And your legs can buckle and buckle good if you know what I mean, if you don't do it properly. And besides, all the well, even if you do it properly, sometimes you're just gonna have a bad landing that's gonna fuck you up anyway. But man, I used to have my mate who used to work in LOC, so RLC, sorry, Royal Logistic Corps, and he used to do all the parachutes, and they're all really fucking old. Like, they're just not good kit. Just dodgy, man. Dodgy kit. But that. Wouldn't trust them parachutes, let alone fucking jumping out of a plane. Good. I'll pass, thanks. Like, I can sit out of a fucking back of a Chinook on a GPMG, no problem. I don't mind that. Just fucking jumping out of the thing. Yeah, you've seen America leave all the Black Hawks, Humvees, a lot, mate. $22 million fucking dollar aircraft, mate. Left it in Afghanistan, gave it to the Taliban. Fucking Joe Biden, mate. It's disgusting. Disgrace. How many troops have been killed by the Taliban?
Although you pay a trillion dollars, $1 trillion, American government is meeting the purchase for your $30 trillion. And they agreed to do that. So I'm going to be going to have a great relationship with them. And they've been very nice, but they're going to be spending a lot of money. Yes, another one. At a very limited one. CNN is MSDNC, which is the worst. Good news is very few people watch them anymore. They lost such credibility. Frankly, what Nicole Wallace said, never been a fan of hers, but she's not very talented. But I'll tell you what she said the other day about that young man is disgraceful. She should be forced to resign. And Rachel Maddow should be forced to resign. Nobody watches her anyway. I don't know. It's not possible they pay her as much money as I hear. Certainly she's lost all credibility. But what they said the other day, they should be forced to resign. Not that young person. It's always something to recognize. And the doctor not a the time to get extend that week. We have a lot of interest in TikTok. China's going to play a role, so hopefully China. Right now, we have to reach another month, so we don't need an extension. But if I needed an extension, I see the enemy. Let's get him. they've been left up there. I don't know if they like each other, but they've been, maybe they'll love each other, I don't know. But they've been left up.
Look. Watch. See that? See it? Look, bird. Look at the bird. Watch, real quick. Listen, that we have birds. Birds. I'm telling y'all, birds. Look at this. We are getting out-civilized by birds. Listen, look, now they're fighting over him. I don't even know what to say. This guy's just like, bro, like, what is this? Oh, man, this is absurd. It's ridiculous. And so, bro, we are being out-civilized by fucking crows. Look at this. That's embarrassing. Look. Watch. See that? See it? Look at the bird. Look at the bird.
Attention car owners, there's a free tool right here that could get you thousands of pounds in compensation. You see, if you find out...
Welcome to Tactical Truths, the playlist where we bring you the latest military news, tactical analysis, and stories that matter most to our community. Hit subscribe and join us for sharp insights and frontline perspectives. I'm Phil Campion, former UK SAS, and this is the Tactical Truth. Is peace really possible in Ukraine? The eyes of the world are looking in. Loads of people are gobbing off. You got Macron, you got the British, you've got Donald Trump is saying his bit. You've got the soldiers on the ground. What do they think? And let's see if we can pick out and find the tactical truth behind peace in the Ukraine, which hopefully is on the horizon.
It is a stunning turn of events on the third anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion of its smaller neighbor, Ukraine. At the UN General Assembly, America sided with Russia and North Korea in voting against a resolution condemning Russia's war. He came as the visited the White House for talks with the French president, saying Donald Trump believed European peacekeepers would be accepted by Russia as a security guarantee underpinning any future deal.
Okay, so Donald Trump has gone up against status quo and appeared to side with Putin. But let's not forget, Donald Trump looks at this in a different set of eyes than everybody else. He is primarily a businessman and is trying to find a deal which suits everybody, because that's how a business deal works, isn't it? A business deal makes everybody happy, gives everybody something, and basically, once it's done, is a deal which leaves no taste in the mouth for anybody, right? A tall order when it comes to Ukraine. There's so many factors politically involved in this. We'll try and see them all throughout this video.
The French leader said he'd already spoken to the UK about a deployment, but added that the solidarity and support of America was crucial.
Okay, so we all know that the Russians have thrown a track by the possibility of Ukraine becoming a member state having involvement with the European Union and NATO, all right? They do not want that on their doorstep, okay? Because There's no buffer zone then. With Ukraine how it is, they don't have anybody right next to them who potentially in their eyes is a threat. So therefore, if NATO is to act how it is, well, they might as well have not gone in there in the first place because they've got NATO on their doorstep. It's a difficult one, this, all right? The French and the Brits, they want to help. The Americans realise that without them behind everything, they're probably, even if there is the will, isn't the money or the logistical capability of pulling this off. It's proper tense, it's proper... It's a proper difficult one, isn't it? Macron's been over to the States to have a butcher's and have a convo in person, the big man himself.
It was an optimistic President Macron who came to the White House today, the first European leader to head to Washington since President Trump's re-election.
Don't forget, when these two met before, not under these circumstances, they got on really well. People were calling it the bromance, weren't they?
His task and a sense relationship.
Relationship's been very special with France and very special with this gentleman on my right.
It looked like the old love romance between these two was back. You can see the work far from the surface. Notably,
Very touchy-feely, isn't it? Very touchy-feely, I'm going to tell you.
on the relative contributions to Ukraine from the US and Europe.
Europe is loaning the money to Ukraine. They get them.
The contributions in this case being how much money is actually being spent, okay, by each country. It's going to be a massive one. It's always going to be a sticking point when people start talking money. And who's done what, what's come from where, and how you're going to get it, who's going to get it back, and have you loaned it, have you...
money to Ukraine. They get their money back.
No, in fact, to be frank, we
No, in fact, see, that disagreement straight away. As soon as you talk dough, different deal, isn't it?
we paid 60% of the total effort, and it was through, like the US.
There you go. We've already put a lot into this. In perspective, they probably have.
Loans, guarantee, grants, and we provided real money. Be clear.
Look at Donald. As soon as the money starts, he's working it out in his head, isn't he? He's doing the sums. He's doing the math, isn't he? Look at his face. Look at the way he's smiling. He loves it. He loves a bit of money talk, doesn't he?
But Donald Trump continues to insist Ukraine hands over half its key natural resources as compensation for America's contribution. He says such a deal with Ukraine's President Zelensky is close.
We go half its natural resources in compensation. That's a lot. And don't forget, that's an ongoing thing. That, over a period of years, is going to be way over what they borrowed.
Yeah, but it's for security.
But then again, I suppose if you take any sort of loan out, you always expect to pay back more than what you took in the first place, don't you? Again, it's a business transaction, isn't it?
I will be
Yes,
meeting
but it
with,
comes with
President
security
Zelensky.
guarantees. If America's
This
mining
week or
in
next week,
Ukraine, they're not
It's on the
gonna
cards.
they're not
Right,
gonna
they
lose
can
their
do this, they can
investment.
pull it off. If anyone can, I'm going to tell you it's going to be a minute.
To sign the agreement, and which would be nice. I'd love to meet him.
He's pretty confident about it. He may come in and sign the agreement. Do you know what I mean? He hasn't said that himself yet, has he? Do you know what I mean? As a presumption goes, it's not a bad one, that is it?
Will you focus on upgrading your warp engines to reach star systems and planets unknown? Will you prioritize upgrading your...
Would meet at the Oval Office.
That issue of compensation is another bone of contention between the US and Europe.
But
It was up to Russia,
can't
said the
stand
French
them.
president.
The compensation thing as well. He's on about taking assets and stuff and things away from, not assets. The thing of compensation's a massive one. Donald's expecting the Ukrainians to put their hands in their pockets. Macron's expecting the Russians to put their hands in their pockets, saying it was their fault. Personally, I think they should both put their hands in their pockets, but that's another story altogether, all right?
Damn right.
Costed a lot of money. And this is the responsibility of Russia because the aggressor is Russia.
Where some agreement appears to be emerging, peacekeeping.
This is another thing now, so you can't stick American troops down there. That's not going to happen. You can't stick NATO troops down there. So when it comes to the matter of staffing the place afterwards to enforce any agreement or resolution or whatever they're going to call it, it's going to fall firmly flat at the feet of European people, of which we are part. apparently. All right, so it's going to come our way somehow, isn't it?
Troops in Ukraine after a truce, something both France and the UK are open to.
С президентом США я видел реакцию в телефонном разговоре, кстати говоря, и на встрече в Риаде.
And this is, he's keeping his powder dry now, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? He's sitting back. He's almost sat there like he's got Donald Trump agreeing with some of his stuff. He's got everybody else looking in. He can now afford to play the diplomat. He's like, yeah, right, my obvious doesn't smell anymore, does it? Do you know what I mean? You can see it in his face, can't you?
Совсем превентивно, конечно, затрагиваем себя проблемы, связанные с украинским кризисом.
Hasn't agreed that he'll do anything. Just agreed he'll have a look at it.
Но он сам по себе сущностно не обсуждался. Мы только договорились о том, что мы подойдем к этому. Да. Но в этом смысле и в этом случае, конечно, отказываемся от участия наших европейских стран. Не только европейских, но и другие страны имеют право и могут участвовать.
I think he's open to negotiation. He's open to. He needs an off ramp. I've said this from the very beginning. He needs a credible off ramp. Now the way he's sat posturing now, realising that there are a few people perhaps turning in his corner, he looks a lot more settled. And that's the thought. That might be the strategy behind all this. Make it look like we've given you a feasible way to get off, and then we'll deal with it. Then we can start shutting doors once you're gone, like, you know what I mean? It's getting really strategic, really tactical, and really interesting, to be honest.
Trump announced today his willingness to have short-term meeting with President Zelensky is super important. First, to have a truce. I think it could be done in the week.
The truce is imperative. Without a truce, nobody's showing willing, aren't they, right? So there needs to be a truce while people actually sit down and get stuff done. All the time there's killing, no good. No good for anybody. None of it.
To come. Truce on air, sea, infrastructure. If it is not respected, it would be the best evidence of the fact that Russia is not serious.
So that's what you're saying. So if people can't respect the truce, what chance have you got of sitting around the table and sorting this out? Who's going to take anybody seriously who can't just say stop 5 minutes?
During this period of time, we negotiate on security guarantees, land.
So there's a list of things which they need to negotiate on. Let's see what they are.
Territories, and it will be the responsibility of the Ukrainian president. Reconstruction. The US will have the deal on critical minerals and rare earths and so on.
Fine with that.
Yeah, and I agree.
Yeah, of course he knows as well as anybody else, he's got to strike a deal, and it's got to keep all parties happy. Now, if the mineral aspect and the reconstruction aspect is going to keep the Americans happy and keep them in and keep them behind things, well, so be it. He's willing to concede a little bit there, isn't he?
It's very important because it's one of the best ways to have the US commitments in the Ukrainian assault.
So that's what exactly there. See, the commitment. You've given them something. You've thrown them a bone, haven't you? You keep them at the table. You keep them interested. You keep them feeding from the trough, don't you? Do you know what I mean?
We will negotiate. And at the end of this period, you have a peace treaty and a peace agreement. So they ask how to make sure that Russia will not violate this treaty. There is no consensus.
Well, it has to be monitored, doesn't it? It has to be looked at. It has to have people sat there who can actually see what's going on. Now, as I've said before, it can't be NATO treaty, because otherwise it's defeated the object of the whole thing as far as the Russians will be concerned, because they didn't want NATO or the Philippines on their doorstep. They wanted it to stay how it was. That way they've got a buffer zone in between them and what they deem as the enemy.
It's for NATO. And having Ukraine joining NATO. But if we leave Ukraine alone, we did it in the past. So we need something more substantial. We worked very hard together with the UK Prime Minister to have a French-UK proposal to say we are ready to send troops, not to go to the front line.
Yeah, I think Macron's a twat.
But to be in some locations, being
Fucking
defined
rat.
by the treaty, and the presence to maintain this peace and our collective credibility with the US backstop.
Oh, when you go shit.
There you go. Some sort of peacekeeping force
100%.
needs to be put in place. It can't be classed as NATO.
Mate, you know World
The
War
only thing
Two.
that really
Do you know as
shows
soon as the
interest
Germans
is
walked
thus
into
far
walked
other
into
Brits and
France, they
everything else.
surrendered.
When the push becomes a shove, nobody really wants to commit anybody onto a dangerous front line. So troops monitoring what's going on, ensuring that peace is being kept, probably the only way to do it.
Everything, and everything's on the table, and we'll see if we can get some land back, and we'll see about a lot of different things. And we're going to be making a little speech and say a few words. In a little while, we're going to have another meeting, a luncheon meeting.
There you go. What Donald Trump's doing here is when he's saying, you know, maybe we'll have to give a little bit of land, maybe they'll have to have a little bit of this, maybe some this, that, and the other's going to be involved. He's trying to cut a deal which gives both men, Zelensky and Putin, an off-ramp, a credible off-ramp, where nobody looks like they've lost, everybody's gained something, which will detract from the fact that actually there's no winners in this at all. In fact, there's been a lot of bloodshed and a lot of life lost.
Yep.
If they can get them off it, stop any further life being lost, and any of the atrocities that we've seen, you know, hopefully will cease, and everybody can just go back slowly to where they came from and manage to get on with their lives. That's what I'd like to see.
And we'll see you in about 2 hours.
In Ukraine, the war is as impossible to escape as the politics surrounding it.
So, that's where we're at. Let's just have a quick recap on how things unfolded from start to finish.
For President Zelensky, today was about remembrance and rallying his remaining allies. But there was one big absentee, the US. What followed were talks about military support, the likelihood of Ukraine joining the European Union.
Perhaps they could be earlier than 2030.
As well as the enforcing of any future ceasefire.
And any settlement must be based on a sovereign Ukraine, backed up with...
Here's what Starmer had to say, you know, again, it's all very much a sovereign Ukraine. You're not part of Europe, you're not part of NATO. If this is going to work, this is the way it's going to have to go.
Strong security guarantees. The UK is ready and willing to support this with troops on the ground.
Yeah. Ukrainian deployments happening, Val.
25. Ukraine and its European allies still have to work out how to stand up.
You want to come to?
At a separate gathering, swerving questions about their relationship, President Zelensky.
It's because of the Western weapons we sent them.
Donald Trump
In America.
Really like to hear from you because all our people, all our families are very.
Well, there's a lot of corruption in Russia.
People for life in general, it's so important.
There's a lot of funds that are supposed to go places that don't end up going there. Same with every country, but it's pretty bad in Russia.
How it gets put down is also key.
So, like, upkeep on military equipment could be like skimmed for fucking cheap parts. Things stop working, vehicles don't get maintenance they need, and then don't work properly. Shit like that.
Trump have always seemed to have a little bit of relationship, and have always seemed to be able to work things out to a point. And I think that's where Trump is coming at from this. He doesn't want to go head to head. If he goes head to head, it ends up in a terror. And I think Trump's been quite clever with this. He realises that the smaller fish in the party is Zelensky. He can be managed slightly differently, but he can't afford to come head to head. A testament to this is the way that Zelensky is actually talking to him now. We want to know your hand. We need your help, etc., etc., okay?
The diplomatic chat has continued tonight, and there has been some substance today, but the tone...
You want to go Ukraine, Bao? Come Ukraine with me, mate.
After 2 weeks of American foreign policy, that has dropped its war effort.
Come on, it'd be a good scrap, Bao. Come on. You gotta come back me up, mate. You gotta bat my back.
You were saying
Yeah, you can.
What Donald Trump has done is gripped it, taken it, and let people know exactly where they stand within the picture, alright? The way that this now gets put together is that anything that's going to love.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it.
Okay, now he's got to put it back together in such a way that people can be happy. And that is a difficult and tall order, I'm going to tell you.
One between Kiev
Oh,
and
live for it, mate.
Tedn are also present. Ukrainian army blew the bridge to stop Russian tanks using it. Ukraine's Western allies, just like the Kremlin, expected these men would lose to Russia within days or weeks.
And this is where, really, when you look back at the very beginning,
Yeah, it didn't work out like
I
that,
think
did
the
it?
Russians expected Ukraine to roll over. They didn't expect any resistance. They expected to just do a massive land grab. We'll take that. We'll have that. Thank you very much. See you later on. The Ukrainians fought like Billy-O. People stood up to the plate. People said, "We're not having this. We're gonna meet you hammer and tongue." And this barrage of Ukrainian resistance was unbreakable. It was absolutely unbreakable. As time now has gone on, it really needs
So almost a million from both sides have died. Almost 800,000, 700,000.
Shelling was intense for Ukrainians.
I would say about 900,000 Russians have died. About 700,000 Ukrainians have died.
Ukrainian people, especially in those early days, was absolutely incredible.
A dangerous journey for thousands of civilians who used the road.
A lot of people have died, Bal. A lot of people.
To relative safety.
I mean, you shouldn't see old people having to do that.
Well, their country, innit? Or what they believe their country is. Ukraine is defending its country, innit? Russia just wants more land. Wants to expand. Pretty simple, really.
The country rallied when the Americans offered to evacuate President Zelensky, told them he needed ammunition, not a ride.
Zelensky's reply, "I want ammunition, not a ride out of here," was a massive state of intent. I am not giving up. I am going to fight. However, at some stage, we all knew the concessions on both sides are going to have to be met if peace is going to be found. Otherwise,
100%.
you're just going to keep smashing each other until there's nothing left to smash.
Well, the thing is, Russia, they can't keep fighting. Like, they just can't. Their economy can't take it. Ukraine is losing the fight. Like, they are losing. So it's just a fucking... At this point, it's just a stalemate.
Things were going off all around him. He's put up this image of someone who's actually entrenched within the fight itself, and he has been. That, of course, inspired his people to pick up arms, to charge down to that front line, to stand up for their loved ones. You didn't hate it, although he put all these sanctions on fighting against Bale was leaving the country. I don't think fighting against Bale wanted to leave the country.
The thing is, if America, any other European country really get involved and, like, actually put troops in there, it's just going to be World War III, and it's all just going to... All going to be nukes because Russia will lose, isn't it? Oh yeah, if they fund that, they're losing. They're just nuking it.
America's relationship with Russia above Ukraine's fight to stay independent.
I disagree with that slightly. I think they put things into perspective of, in terms of falling out, if a resolution can't be made where all parties are happy, that's when the real problems will begin. And if America goes head on straight into Russia without thought or without a diplomatic approach, we all know where that could go. That could go straight 5 stars on GTA, couldn't it? Do you know what I mean? That could go 5 stars and beyond. That could go 5 stars and above on GTA. They're ridiculously peaked on for everybody. So I think there's a bit.
He's funny, isn't he? He's loose, but all soldiers, we're all crazy, we're all nuts. You gotta be. But he's especially loose, mate. He's crazy. SAS, mate. He's just fucking loose, mate. Things he's been through, he's just lost it. He's lost the plot, mate.
Trump has repeated Russian lies.
Fuck yeah. Fucking nuts.
We're not going to be perfectly honest.
Bad boy SAS, mate. They're naughty.
And they are. They're a little bit swayed on that sort of side.
Oh, I ain't got stones for that, mate.
From a purely business perspective,
just all the torture and shit. I don't know if I'd sit there and get tortured.
Alright? BBC are just going to smash Trump every time they come up against him because they don't like him.
Ukraine started the war.
It was.
Yeah.
Russia started it. They came to our home.
I don't know. I don't think I have the. I don't have the intelligence. I don't think. Probably for it.
So you have descended this whole conversation into a who did it? You did
Oh,
it.
you'll be
I
best,
did it,
man.
mate. It wasn't me.
Like survive. So like surviving.
And our parents.
Like
That is why we are fighting.
you have to avoid bear shit. Like hunt dogs and stuff like that. There's a lot of drills you go through where you got to be smart to pass it.
At the same time, we've all realised that the Russians need a credible ramp to get themselves out of there. I think it needs to be policed. It can't be policed by NATO. So ultimately, whoever is sat around that table has got a tough job, not an impossible job. And hopefully, in the very near future, this whole thing will begin to fade into a distant memory. And people can get on with their lives and live normal, happy lives in a country they're happy to be in. That was the Tedn truth.
Still, all of that. What's he saying? What?
Former paratrooper, come SS.
Yeah, that's the stepping stones, isn't it? Yeah. Special forces. You got conventional forces, so like your Royal Marines, your paratroopers, your army, and you got special forces, which is like SAS, SBS, Special Boat Service. Basically, SAS but in boats. Oh yeah, he actually fought Hamas. The SAS geezer. I'll put it on for you, but I'm gonna go piss. He's retired now.
The area of the world I'm going to fess it up in is so I thought I'd better just see what my profession really is to it is ratings. Yeah, it was good ratings. So let's go back a few years, quite a few years. I was out working in the Middle East. And we'd done a training team. What we were doing was we were training board guards who were being a boat across the party. We trained people who were common equipment and then basically training incredible. Anyway, those guards, we trained them, we did really well with them, they all employed things like swimming there until Hamas decided that they'd have a simple internal move, takeover, war, whatever you want to call it, and they ended up in jail. And they murdered them. response to that, the Israeli government then thought, right, I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll block a few areas like they do, do you know what I mean? So they sort of and they bombed the power station, the main power station, a place called Deir al-Balah in the central Gaza. Broke beyond. Well, you could repair it, but there was nobody in Gaza capable of repairing it. So I ended up on a team of people that went into the power station to help repair it. Now, I'm not an engineer, but the engineers that went to repair it were from Sweden, and they were the only people in the world capable of doing the job, the only people with tools and know-how, etc., etc. They put it up, so it was their responsibility to go and get it. So the Israeli government basically said, right, we'll allow a team of UN people to go in there. It was sponsored by the United Nations, so there was a UN flag hanging. Well, they weren't happy, agreed for the team that were on the border to go in and escort. Bring a steel around the power station, so they were supplying the external security, and then the security of the actual people working for the rig was our responsibility as a small team, which went from 4 to 6, fluctuated, people came, etc., etc., etc. But we were all from Europe, so that's what they did. They didn't so they had. So that's the basic nuts of the story. So that's how I ended up finding myself in Gaza. So we had a very strange relationship. There'd be the border incursion by the Israelis. They would throw back a few of their Qassam missiles.
I'll quickly show you. Just here.
They throw some missiles across, and the Israelis would respond. You know, it was just a tit for tat all the time. The power station had a United Nations flag on top of it, so that wasn't supposed to get done. That, you know, all the helicopter pilots going in there, drones, wrecking, and all the other stuff that would go on around that area. They were to leave that area alone because obviously those people from representing the United Nations within that compound. They've been told the Israelis to leave it alone. Now, that's caused a bit of resentment with Hamas, but Hamas didn't trust us within the power station. So we had a series of meetings with them, which they agreed to arm us to a point that they gave us the weapons. You know, we got given these horrendous pistols, which, you know, the ammunition felt too light for the start. I wouldn't imagine it was probably empty, it was never going to ever work. We managed to jack up a couple of local weapons, which we kept hidden away because the way the fact is we don't want, we'd have been in trouble, but we obviously knew people within Gaza, so we got ourselves an undone, etc. And we worked within the boundaries of the camp. We had escape routes planned, and it's really difficult, Gaza, because if you're actually going to get out of there alive, you know, depending on who comes after you, you've still got this wall all the way around, which the Israelis wouldn't let anybody pass. And then there's like a no man's cut that goes around there. And if you find yourself in there trying to escape, the chances are somebody on one side of them is going to shoot. Right? So it's a very strange place. We repeatedly tried to negotiate with Hamas and better our position and make sure that we had a route out and all that sort of stuff. But they didn't really trust us. And I think it was on the strength of the fact that they knew we'd been in with this training team before, this one that worked on the border. And obviously we worked from the other side of the government, Crusade Overthrow, which was the Presidential Guard, etc., etc. They didn't.
Amazon brings the UEFA Champions League, where legends are made.
This hair-played scheme that we thought, right, if we can gain their trust, then it will make our time a lot easier. And if the push comes to shove, we do actually need to get out of here for whatever reason, how much might just facilitate our way to the border a lot easier than what it is. When we get there, we'll be able to negotiate our way across with the Israelis without too much hassle. We can get ourselves out of here and keep everybody alive. Which at the end of the day was my main aim anyway, certainly, was to keep myself alive and the people there are supposed to be looking after. So it was in our interest to try and come up with some way of gaining the trust of Hamas. We talked. Training with them. They seemed to be pretty squared away. They didn't really want any interference from us in those respects. We offered do this with you, maybe we'll do that with you. They didn't trust us in that extent. They didn't want any training and they believed that they were the best. So, you know, we couldn't Anyway, you know, who am I to teach them how to fly sounds in Israel? It's not really my bag, to be honest. I don't know what I'm doing with that. So that's what they were up to. And they would have these little patrols which would go around, etc. time to time, and they'd come up against the border and they'd have these like tactical. They show us which was one. Interesting, their defences that they put up. Roads, overstudying, reach roads, smashing them down. You know, anything coming in was going to get the last time. They also had a series of like lead coffins which were all around the place with guys that hiding and should be Israeli free up with all this stuff. You know, people get out of there. They would kill their heat signature. The Israelis would better find out where the so there was all sorts of really interesting stuff. Then they began to warm to the idea of us having a look around. So they showed us around once, and then they said to us, "Will we be prepared to go on a patrol?" So, just get that into your head. Described as the axis of evil, made by more than one president of America. Deemed as a terrorist organisation. Now just ask yourself and others, would you like to go on a patrol? There was a team we pulled back and underlined downward shots to looking at. But we soon came a turn and decided that we could go and set patrol, look at, visit various locations, and as they did that, obviously we would go and on this patrol there would be 4 or 5 of their soldiers, a gun truck, I believe we were saying this, a gun truck, with a great big sort of like 5.0 mounted on the back of it. Everyone on the truck had an AK-47, with a couple of machine guns as well, thrown into good measure. And me and the lad went with me. Was my back to business. With ammunition that was questionable, to say the least. I've never actually got the fire around that. I'll tell you that. It wouldn't work. Their risk taking the pistol that I managed to store locally in case we got served before we could take it anywhere. As I said, we were going to be several different partners, various different troops from my room. So, they pitched up at camp.
Oh my God! Did he go on a patrol with Hamas? Yeah.
States of red, some were actually dug in, some were hiding. Wife said dead coffins, some were, you know, like little FOBs, and some were, you know, base. Everywhere we went, it's like
We do it with all the terrorist organisations. We teach them up, and then they attack us.
Somebody watching you. But as we came up to all these soldiers, the look on their faces, as soon as they realised there were 2 round-eyed white people in the entourage, with their jaws would just drop, hit the floor, just go, what? If you had a translation for what the fuck in Arabic, that would be what they were thinking. So, we went round on this patrol. The aim of it, from our point of view, was to instill trust that we were quite prepared to go out on the ground with Hamas operatives in the knowing that we could have been attacked by the Israelis at any time. So that was where the trust element came in. So we did exactly that. We drove round, we met various commanders, we met various troops, gave them all waves and shook their hands and bowed, did whatever we had to do, and sat on the back of this truck with this great big 5.0, which people were swinging about on, pretending they were actually knowing what they were doing, when they probably didn't, and visit various troops who did or didn't know what they were doing. And that was us. We drove back that evening. We spent most of the day out, drove back to the camp, got back in the camp, looked at each other as if to say, what was that? And said no more about it, ever, to anybody, up until I wrote my book, I told the world. Well, I thought I'd better with all the stuff that's going on there. Look, if people watching, yes, I did go on a patrol with Hamas. I had good reason to. If I have a mission to Hamas, and I have a photograph in which I had a copy of FHM tucked in between my legs. Now, my idea was to try and get this photograph into a copy of FHM. And to that end, my plan had been, while we were on patrol. And I have this photograph. My plan had been while we were on patrol to literally unfurl this thing once I got a photograph of the guys. And it had a girl on the front of it with FHM and all the, the covers that they had. And then as I came to the last bit to take the photograph, I literally